Hey everyone, if you've been around for a while, you probably remember my eye builds. They were a huge fan favorite and honestly, they were a blast to create. So today, I'm bringing them back, but this time, I'll walk you through my full process from reference to the final detail and explain why I build the way I do. So without further ado, let's jump in. Step 1, finding the right reference. And by finding, I mean scrolling Pinterest for hours until something catches my eye. Get it? Catches my... Okay. Moving on. I landed on this image right here. The lighting, the angle, the expression, it just speaks to me and that's what I look for. With a reference in hand, let's break down the anatomy of the eye. Fun fact, the part of the eye that we actually see is only about 15% of the entire eyeball. The rest is hidden behind the eyelids. So to build this accurately, we've got to start from the inside out. I begin with a simple sphere to represent the full eyeball, and from there, I sketch in where the eyelids will sit. Basically, I'm outlining where they would lay across the sphere. Next, I use the axiom weld tool to thicken those outlines. This helps define the structure that sits just under the skin. Think of it like sculpting the bones underneath the eyelids. After that, I use the loft tool to create the actual skin above and below the eye. I smooth everything out, some of it by hand and the rest using the Axiom Smooth tool. Then I replace the placeholder blocks with actual colors. I keep it simple at this stage: skin tone, white of the eye, and a base color for the iris and pupil. Now here comes the fun part, mapping out the light and shadows of the image. At this point, I'm not getting super detailed yet and going crazy with the blocks I use. I'm just blocking out in the major highlights and shadows, almost like painting with broad strokes. To help visualize this process better, I've split the reference image into smaller parts so you can see exactly what I'm looking at while I map things out. The different colors shown on screen represent different parts of the image. When picking out colors for a realistic build, you will need to understand color theory. A lot of the colors I'm picking for the white of the eye are actually very closely related to the colors of the skin tone. Which doesn't sound like it would make sense at first glance. The skin tone is orange and saturated while the dark part of the eye should be gray, right? Well, that's not how color works. Here's what this image would look like if we colored each part solely based on what color it should be. It doesn't look as good now, does it? Well, the problem is a lot of people still color this way. A lot of factors like the reflection and color of the light completely change the color of something. And generally, it will blend in all the parts of the image to one general color. When painting or building ultra-realistic images, you will need a strong grasp on the concept of color theory and color context. Usually, the colors of an image will be a lot more close on the spectrum than you think. It is very rare that you will have to go along the color wheel to find what you need. Most of the colors you need will be available in one section depending on the temperature of the image. Artists can use this to their advantage when they want to create high contrast in an image. Once that's done, we can start refining it by adding more blocks and blending the sections together. Now that that's looking good, let's zoom in onto the iris. You'll notice there are these soft diagonal lines across it. Those are actually reflections from the eyelashes above it. Super subtle, but super important. I begin blocking those in with a slightly darker color. With the base down, I started adding detail blocks to smooth out the harsher edges. Think of this step as increasing the resolution of the image. We're taking a pixelated image and making it look ultra smooth and realistic. I use stairs to round off some of the corners, glass panes and walls to soften the transition in the iris, and slabs around the eyelets to get a more natural curve. This is where the build starts to lose that Minecraft blocky look and really starts to look like a piece of art. Now for the lashes, the most challenging part of the whole process. They need to be placed with precise perspective. The lashes further away from the camera are long and curved, while the ones closer are barely visible lines. If you mess this part up, it can throw off the entire build, so I really take my time here. Some lashes in the reference even reflect some light, so I recreate that by adding brighter blocks just behind a few key lashes to simulate the glow. Finally, I go back through and polish any rough areas, brightening some lashes, smoothing some edges, and adjusting the lighting and color just a little bit.
Now, before I show you the final build, I'd like to show you some of my older eye builds close up so you can see some of the different detailing techniques I used for different sizes and perspectives.
And that's it, the build is complete. I hope you enjoyed watching this process as much as I enjoyed building it. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more builds like this. If you want to support the channel and even get access to some of my builds, check out my Patreon or my website. Links are down in the description. Until next time, peace.